How many of these examples defies the laws of physics in Live for Survival? Let's get into it.
Number 10.
So this one was a while ago, but basically, how are chillers able to be frozen by using the ice club? Now, obviously, I tried this out a little bit recently, and obviously it doesn't work anymore because it was patched out, but this did not make any sense back then because, like, how the hell can ice be frozen by another patch of ice? That literally made no complete sense. It was literally saying killing fire by using fire, which is that popular phrase, fight fire with fire, which doesn't obviously end well in so many occasions. But either way, freezing the chiller with the ice club barely made any sense right now. If you were to use the ice club on the chiller, nothing happens and it's a complete waste of the entire ability. But back then, it just made little to no sense how a chiller made completely out of ice was able to be frozen by something made out of completely out of ice.
Number 4.
Another one that I actually thought of is, how is the Tangler's tongue, I better say this really casually and not try to put it in any sussy, behaviors, but how is the Tingler's tongue strong enough to be able to pull a survivor from a long distance away? I mean, let's be real. That is extremely impressive for a Tingler's tongue to go that far, for like half across the map to be able to get a survivor. That's very impressive. But especially to basically grab them and basically pull them towards the Tingler is beyond like human, I guess, reality. I don't know. This does not make any sense, especially the fact that if a survivor has like juggernaut armor, a minigun, I don't know, an RPG, and especially with all the amount of armor and stuff he has, basically with all the supplies, how is a Tangler able to be strong enough to, first of all, pull them, and secondly, of course, grab them, since, you know, it's a very far away shot? This does not make any sense. I mean, if the Tingler's tongue is strong enough to pull a fully kitted, basically, survivor, why isn't it strong enough to, like, you know, pull them up to, like, a survivor able to grapple with his tongue, or a survivor be able to use his tongue to, like, I don't know, get to higher places, use it as a rope? But no, it's only used for grabbing survivors, which, I mean, it's very impressive with the amount of strength in the tongue. Doesn't really make much sense on how he doesn't use it to grapple when it's that strong of a tongue, especially his body and legs that are basically doing most of the amount of work while pulling a survivor.
Number 9.
So whenever a rescue vehicle comes around, you for some reason don't see any drivers. This does not make any sense whatsoever. How the hell did this helicopter that flew from the sky literally come down perfectly, and while you're boarding there was no passenger? Like, was that a ghost, or was that, like, I don't know, just a malfunction? But that does not make any sense whatsoever. Hey, maybe the driver just jumped out as soon as, like, the helicopter landed and they just ran for it. I don't know. But literally, how in the hell is there no driver? Now, in the new, map Townwood, I think that's what it's called, if you were to successfully get all of the fuel cans, there's actually a driver in the helicopter, which I'll post right there. But yeah, apart from that, all of the other maps, there are no drivers. This makes no sense for, like, the boat on Salty Sea Harbor, the helicopters, and maybe even the vans like on Union Cave and on Death Canyon. It really makes no sense how a vehicle can just literally come out of nowhere to rescue you while there's no driver, and how it literally picks you up and literally drives you out to safety when there's no driver. Like, who's driving? So I mentioned this in the previous one, but how bloaters basically jump from, like, a giant building and they don't take a single damage or even break their legs. But this is the same one, which is basically how zombies jump down and they don't take any damage whatsoever. I mean, are they not skipping leg day? Like, Jesus Christ. But if that's the case, then how are they, like, you know, don't have, like, mega sprint? Or how can they not use their legs for, like, to ultimate jump on top of a building or something like that? Doesn't really make much sense. Now, obviously, it's for game reasons and how survivors don't have the capabilities to jump off of buildings and, I guess, survive. But if that's the case, then why do Infected have, the capabilities to survive the fall? I mean, it's obviously to give them a lot more of an advantage to catch survivors, but in real life aspects, that would make no sense, because zombies and survivors are technically the exact same thing. Well, kind of. Depending what are the mutations the zombies get from, the whatever virus it is, affects their body, obviously. Like in Resident Evil, where, I don't know, a Titan or some shit like that formed out of, like, flesh and stuff with shanks and stuff. I don't know. It's a weird game, but aside from that, I really don't know how infected can jump from literally the crane, land perfectly without a scratch, and are just ready to consume the next survivor. Doesn't really make much sense if you really think about it.
Number 1.
Check this out.
Now, we all love the good old-fashioned crawlers, don't we? But one of the things that doesn't make sense is how on Rapid Infection they actually have an ability which is not really that great since it's only for that mode, and plus every other game mode it's completely useless. But realistically, in this game mode they have a special ability called Clairvoyance, and when you activate it as a crawler, you get to reveal all nearby survivors within like a 10 meter or something like that radius, and it basically reveals them where you can see their outlines for like 20 seconds, somewhere around there, maybe 30. But yeah, it's not really that great of an ability. I can see why it's only on Rapid Infection, but at the same time, how in the hell did these infected little shits actually get the ability when in all the other game modes they're just weak and just running around being a pain in the ass? Realistically, I don't know how in this one game mode they are given an ability, and in the other game modes they are not given a special ability. That kind of makes sense to how the Brute really works so far. But anyway, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in about 42 years and have a great game.